Hi guys, I'm as always excited for us to meet again in our class. Today's maths class, we are going to take a look at the topic we discussed in the previous lesson. But this time around, we are going to take a look at examples. So still, we are on sets. We are not done. Our major goal is to continue with more examples. So if you are preparing for a WASSCE examination, you can expect them to bring, or yes, you can expect them to bring an example of the form on the board. Square root of 5 is equal to 2.236. Then evaluate the expression 2 divided by square root of 5 plus 3. What is the first thing you will do? What is the first thing you must do if you see the word evaluate? What does it prompt you to do? With the word evaluate, it means for you to get your final answer. This one has nothing to do with simplifying, but you need to get the final answer out of it. So let's explain with the example on the board. So for instance, you have your final answer to be 2 square root 5. And you've also been given the value of square root 5 in the question. So what you end up doing is that you put the value of square root 5 in the expression that you have as your final answer. Then you provide the final answer for us. That is exactly what you are expected to do when you are given a question like that. So let's follow the example that we have in this particular lesson and let's see how we solve it. With the expression on the board, it is the same way or is the same method we are going to follow as the ones in the previous videos. So what is the first thing to do if you have an expression like that on the board? Yes, I know you can try. Right. So the first thing to do, you remember, is that whenever you have a whole number, it is always divided by 1. So this means that 3 in the expression on the board is divided by, you are right, 1. So let's write that. So our solution is going to be 2 divided by square root of 5 plus 3 divided by 1. Okay. Now what do we do next? So with the denominators, we have square root of 5 and then we also have 1. So what do we do with them? Try. Okay, try. Yes. So we multiply them. We multiply square root of 5 by square root of 1 to get our LCM. So when we multiply square root of 5 by 1, what do we get? We get square root of 5. So let's continue with that. Square root of 5. So we now have square root of 5 as our LCM, just like we discussed in the previous video. Now, with square root of 5, what do we do with it as the LCM? You remember again that we said with the first expression, the denominator, we divide it by the LCM. So when we divide square root of 5 by square root of 5, the answer will give us 1. Now with the 1, what do we do with it? We multiply it. We further multiply it by the numerator, which is 2. So 1 multiplied by 2 will give us. So we are finished with the first expression. So now let's move on to the second expression. So with the second expression, also what do we do? You remember again that we divide square root of 5 by 1, and the answer we get will be square root of 5. So square root of 5 will be done away with? No, we'll multiply it by the numerator, and the answer we'll get will be 3 square root of 5. Again, remember that the sign is always important. You always bring the sign. So we are going to have our positive sign plus there. Then we are going to have 3 square root of 5. So now what do you observe with regards to the denominator? When you look at the denominator carefully, what do you observe? Yes, you can see a Z. You can see square root of 5 there, right? And do we normally like a square root sign as the denominator? No. So our objective next is to remove the square root sign. And how do we do that? We multiply it by the numerator and then the denominator. So that's exactly what we are going to do. So we are going to have 2 plus 3 square root of 5 divided by square root of 5. Then we multiply the numerator by square root of 5 and the denominator by square root of 5. And you know that when the denominator, the square root of 5 multiplied by square root of 5, the answer will give us square root of 5 to the power 2. And again, you know that the numerator will multiply the whole expression 2 plus 3 raised to 2 plus 3 square root of 5. So let's write that. So we are going to have square root of 5 multiplying 2 plus 3 square root of 5, then all divided by square root of 5 to the power 2. So now, if we multiply square root of 5 by 2, remember also again that the number in front of the square root sign is 1. So we multiply by 2 and then the answer we get is 2. Then we maintain our square root of 5. So our answer is going to be 2 square root of 5. So we write our 2 square root of 5 plus multiplying the next expression. So the next expression is going to be root 5 multiplied by 3 square root of 5. And again, the number in front of the square root sign 3 will multiply the number in front of the square root sign for the other expression, which is 1. So we get 3, then into bracket square root of 5 to the power 2. So we are going to have plus 3 square root of 5 all raised to the power 2. Then divided by square root of 5 all raised to the power 2 again. Now, when you look at the square root sign and then the power 2, what happens? It cancels out. It cancels out for the numerator and the denominator as well. So after cancelling out, what would our answer be? We further on simplify. So 3 multiplied by 5, and our answer will be, so we are going to have 2 square root of 5 plus, the answer is going to be 15 divided by 5. So this is the expression that we'll get. You remember that we said that anytime that we have an expression like that, we can further on simplify. So our next objective is to separate the expressions and simplify them. So we can have 15 divided by 5 as one expression, plus 2 square root of 5 divided by 5 as another expression. Now 15 and 5, when we divide, what would our answer be? We'll be able to reduce it, right? So try working that. Yes, our answer is going to be 3. So our answer is going to be 3. So we are going to end up having a reduced version as 3 plus, we are going to have a reduced version which is 3 plus 2 divided by 5 and then multiplied by square root 5. So now you see that in the question they gave us the answer for square root 5, which is 2.236. So what we are going to do is that we are going to fix it in our expression so that we further on evaluate our answer. So we are going to have 3 plus 2 divided by 5, or 2 multiplied by 2.236, or divided by 5. Yes. So what we are going to do here is that we are supposed to calculate using our calculator. We are supposed to enter the answer. So can you try that using your calculator? Yes, try that using your calculator. You can always do, when you are normally solving this example, you can always use your calculator in circumstances like this, especially when you have decimals of the form that we have on the board. So with an expression like 3 plus 2 multiplied by 2.236 divided by 5, you can solve that with your calculator. So what we are going to do here is that we are going to leave you to try and then solve the final expression with your calculator. So if you follow the steps that we've been able to discuss in this particular trial example, then solving questions of this nature wouldn't be difficult. So we said that if you see the word evaluate, then that means that the final answer that you get, if you have any said and you have been given the answer for the said in the question, they are going to replace the value of the said in the answer, and then you further on calculate using your calculator. In this particular lesson, so you can use that as a trial example and solve that. Wish to see you in the next class again. Bye for now.